Oh, we're at the end.
We're at the end now. We're going to review the last ever season of Deadwood. Yeah, season 3 of Deadwood.
Oh my.
Well, I was going to say for the first 2 seasons, at the beginning, as a purposeful thing, because I knew season 3, I said there's no way you can summarise season 1 and 2. They're too Byzantine, too well plotted to anyone to summarise in less than 50 minutes. Can you summarise the main arc of season 3?
Yeah,
briefly.
Dead easy.
Yeah.
Businessman Hearst comes to town. He's seeking the gold claims. He wants to have complete control of the town. The town continues to resist, but ultimately fail to stop the effects of Hearst.
Yes.
The town is forever changed because of it.
Yes.
Dead easy.
It is, isn't it? But you can't summarise 1 and 2 like that, can you?
No. It's season 3 is bizarre.
It is bizarre.
Season 3 is a really bizarre season of Deadwood. It's by far the weakest.
Yes. It's the only one I would hesitate to call a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I think season 1 and 2 are in the top 10 seasons of television ever made.
Yeah.
Especially season 2, which is number 1.
Yeah.
This wouldn't probably be in a top 100.
No, I don't think it would be.
No, there's too many other great shows
shame.
now. Yeah.
Which is a real shame. Oh, God. Well, we kind of touched upon a lot of this in episode by episode, but my thoughts are clear. I'd never cared for Hearst as a villain. Yeah. Ever. Thematically, it made sense. I got that, he was representative of capitalism and the effects of capitalism can have on a community and how it can tear people apart. I got all that. Yeah. As a piece of entertainment, as a piece of drama, I don't think he works. No. I don't think you really get a good feel of the character. Again, he's meant to be quite distant. He's meant to be quite aloof, but he's just not as engaging as any of the other villains we've had in Deadwood. Like Francis Wilcott or Cy. Yeah, he's no Cy. No. A multifaceted, fascinating, three-dimensional character. But the whole Hearst storyline, I didn't really care for it. Okay. And I was glad when it was kind of done within the second half. Yeah. And we kind of went back to the style of season 1 and 2. I'm all up for an experiment. Don't get me wrong. Don't ever get me wrong. I love me some messing with the formulas. I like angering fans. I like all that stuff. I like it when a show changes up the formula. But when it's not working, I'm a bit like, stick to what you know. Yeah. And when it returns to what it knows in the second half, the episodes are a lot stronger. All Unauthorised, Cinnamon, Amateur Night, and the final episode are great episodes. Particularly Amateur Night. I loved Amateur Night. That felt like it stepped out of season 2. Yeah. I loved Amateur Night. My favourite episode of season 3 by far. I felt they underused characters. I felt there was a lot of backtracking of characters. Yeah. I felt they overused some characters, like Steve the Drunk. That's bizarre. I don't understand why Steve the Drunk is like leading some episodes. Steve the Drunk and the General. Yeah. Have like now I like both characters. Steve the Drunk's a horrible character, but he's utilised amazingly well in season 2. Yeah. Like when he tars the General. Yeah. But suddenly Steve the Drunk's like a main character, and I'm like, you've got like Alma, like one of the best characters you've got, and you're not concentrating on that character. She's in a really interesting position. Couldn't we see more of like a mining operation? Yeah. And the difficulties she's having, maybe? Okay. I guess I'll watch an episode about Steve the Drunk. Yeah. I guess. I think one of the highlights for me was we got to know the Minutia character a bit more. I like how you learn a bit more about Richardson. Oh, yeah. Richardson's like the unsung star of season 3. But at the same time, you get more Richardson and you get Steve the Drunk and you get the General, but then you lose like E.B. Yeah. You lose the Doc. Yeah. You lose these really great characters that we come to know and love, and they are great actors, great characters, and you're not using them. Yeah. I don't get it. Well, I think with E.B. I can defend, because I think the idea is that after season 2, when he was sort of working both sides, Al would sort of knocked into him. But then again, that could be loads of potential then for Christopher E.B. Yeah. Because he has got nowhere to go. Yeah. Like he could try and align himself with with Hearst and just failed horribly.
Yeah.
Which I think he does try, but...
Well, he's utilised again really well in the second half. Like, I love the bit where he gets... the bit where he gets spat on. It's one of the highlights where he's like... Where Hearst is like, it wouldn't be sensible for you to clean that.
Yeah.
And he just leaves it there. It's a horrible... I mean, it's implied he's left it there overnight.
Oh, yeah.
And just like, you know, that kind of stuff is great. You know, it's putting him in a new position of powerlessness. He's not really been in, even though he's usually powerless, but not to that extent. You know, it's great. But yeah, the Doc is the worst one, I think, because he's great in season 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's a great character. I don't get why we decided to make him ill all of a sudden. I mean, there is that great scene where Al's like, you know, don't you fucking go dying on me.
Yeah.
I don't want a new Doc.
No.
Like, you're the only Doc we can have.
Yeah.
You're not fucking dying. That's a great scene, but, like, you lose him.
Yeah.
He's a great character. I want to learn more about him.
Yeah.
What else? I want to get out what I disliked first.
Yeah.
So for me, it's that first half.
Yeah.
The second half's fine. It kind of, I still, again, because it's all mostly concentrated on Hearst, I still don't really 100% care for him. But since he's part of the bigger picture,
yeah,
I don't mind. It's mostly that first half I don't really care for. But the theatre troupe stuff is
disastrous.
It's disastrous, yeah.
That's the only part of Deadwood I would call bad.
Yeah.
Not even just bad for Deadwood, just bad.
Just bad. I mean, it gave us John Langrish.
Yeah, that's fine.
Brian Cox is awesome. He's a really interesting character. It's a great performance. And it led to one of the best episodes of the season.
Well, that's the problem though. If you took out the theatre troupe, there'd be no amateur night.
Well, that's it. I just wish the theatre troupe were better written.
Well, it would just... Well, the easy thing to do would be to get rid of their plotline, like their plot is the death of Bellegarde, or... I don't know if it is Bellegarde, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Chesterton. There's Bellegarde and Chesterton, and I can't remember which one.
I know, I
It doesn't... This is the problem, you see.
I think it's Bellegarde. Bellegarde's the old one that dies.
This is the problem, though. If you can't remember the name of them, but I can remember the name of Soapy, who's the soap merchant, who's in, like, one episode.
Yeah.
Or Bummer Dan, or the other one, or the other Dan who dies in season 2, episode 1.
Or Steve the Drunk.
Yeah, but if you can remember them characters, but not like these characters who were meant to be leads, it's a problem, really.
The plot line was never clear.
No.
I didn't really... again, the idea that like actors are coming to Deadwood could be a really fun idea. Like, these are mostly either stupid or really hardened people who probably aren't really up for like theatre.
Yeah.
And you know, you could have some fun, you know, like the flamboyant actors kind of like clashing with, I don't know, like, you know, the more hardened members of the community. That might have been fun, but we don't get that. Instead we get protracted scenes of Bellegarde dying. It's like, yes, we've done the death of the old ways.
Yeah.
We did that in season 1. Wild Bill Hickok, perfect.
Yep.
Makes perfect sense for the kind of what the show's trying to do. We don't need another old man that's dying.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That was, yeah.
So the theatre troupe stuff I thought was just disastrous.
It was just a waste of time that was going nowhere. I've read people trying to defend it, saying that it's because Deadwood isn't about Al or Bullock or Alma, it's about the town. But as you said, it's not the idea of the theatre troupe which is bad, it's the way they're implemented.
It's the way they've done it, yeah.
And just that actor who plays the really camp one he
not.
does not clash with the other characters well. Because as you said, flamboyant characters can work, like...
John Langrish.
Or even Merrick to an extent.
Oh, Merrick,
like,
I'm a Deadwood pioneer. Or even like Blazanov.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really, these really flamboyant characters do work, but they work because they're interacting with the other characters.
Yeah.
You see people's reactions to them, you understand how these characters work off each other. I don't think there's a single scene where the theatre troupe people talk to any of the citizens of Deadwood.
No.
Like, that's not very good.
No.
Well, I want to have a scene, I don't know, where like Bullock runs into him and he's like, "Get away." Oh, he's a bit angry, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah, they're not even characters, really. The theatre troupe is just
like window dressing.
Easily the worst thing that that Deadwood ever did. That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, just too many episodes and all that felt like build up to the next one.
Yeah.
Like a two-headed beast where Dan Dorrit has that fight with the captain is a great episode, but the one before it, Full Faith and Credit, is literally just setup for that episode.
Yeah.
And then again, Unauthorised Cinnamon had a setup episode, which even though you gave it a good review of 9 out of 10, after seeing Unauthorised Cinnamon, it's clearly just setup.
Yeah.
It's just not a show that does serialised storytelling very well.
No, it's the whole kind of novella format's much better.
Yeah.
Where you got like a whole bunch of different stories in one episode and we kind of form a big picture.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I think that one of the best plot lines in the entire show is Jane and Jonah.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, but yeah, that's great character development. It's great character work.
Yeah.
It's always good when a character you have an opinion about changes over the course of the show.
Yeah.
Have you ended up in a different place? That's really great. So you look at Jodie's progression from where she was in season 1, a lackey horror of Psy, and actually kind of become independent person, free from his influence, to the point now where she's no longer like afraid of talking to Psy. She's not afraid of confronting Psy anymore. I mean, obviously, you look at Jane, she, a drunk outlaw to just becoming a drunk, to now becoming a fairly stable childminder.
Yeah. And it's all great
stuff.
And it all works within, like, she's, like, in the very second episode, she's looking after Sophia. It's laying it all in there for season 3.
Yeah.
It just pays it all off perfectly. That is probably the best thing about season 3, in terms of a dramatic storyline, is those two.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a perfect arc that works perfectly within the whole 12 episode frame.
I also do like, they kind of abandoned it a bit in the second half, but I do like in the early episodes the whole relationship now with Bullock and Mrs. Bullock.
Yes.
Well, like, they're not really like, you don't get the impression that like, they're romantically involved, but they're there to support each other.
Yeah.
They're there to help each other, which I like. I like the whole schoolhouse thing.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat. It gives Mrs. Bullock something to do.
Yeah.
Gives her character something to do. I like all that stuff.
Yeah.
The fight between Dan Doherty and the Captain is fucking awesome. It's like one of the best fights in Deadwood.
Oh, I think best fights in TV history.
Yeah. It's up there with the fight between Bullock and Al at the start of season 2.
Well, that's just fucking awesome.
It's just the most glorious thing ever.
Yeah.
But the fight between Dan Doherty and the Captain is just oh god, it's so good.
Gruesome and bloody and
gruesome,
horrible.
bloody, dirty, and like, oh my god, I've never seen. Like Game of Thrones does violence, but it's often quite comical.
Yeah. That's the bit where it's like,
I've never seen
the guy's head.
Yeah. I've never seen it so grisly, like someone like pull someone's eye out before, and done in such a grisly way.
I didn't think it was even possible before watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but oh god, can you imagine?
Brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the worst. And then like where he gets up and his eyes hanging out, it's like
Oh yeah, he's like dangling down. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful, isn't it? Yeah.
That's awful. I was going to say, I think from a point of view of making the town feel like a town, and from a set design point of view, I don't think the show's ever been as good.
I do agree, yeah.
I think that this is the season where they really nailed the feel of a community.
Yeah.
You've got a school, you've got houses. No wonder this show went over budget at 100 million.
Yeah.
The money's all there.
That's it, the money's on screen.
Yeah.
But it's like, so we talked about the great themes of this season, but this is another thing that I find. I don't find it as multi-layered as season 2.
No.
Season 3, is really about the corrupting influence of capitalism.
Yeah.
That was always there in Deadwood, but it was one of the themes David Milchs was exploring.
Yeah.
This one, it felt like he wanted to just concentrate on one theme, one really strong theme, and have it run throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
So even in that regard, I don't really have a lot to say because we talked about it in the episode reviews.
Yeah.
But the Hearst's character and what he represents, and the corrupting influence he has in the town, how the community is torn apart by someone else's financial gain.
Yeah.
It leaves the town in ruins.
Yeah. I was going to say, actually, because you said at the end of season 2, in the huge season 2 review, that it felt like an artist at the peak of his power, David Milchs, literally gained every theme he ever wanted to explore: life, death, love, everything, just chucking it at the wall, seeing what stuck. And then, like, do you think he had essentially written everything he wanted to do, and this was the only thing that he had left? Because he couldn't exactly do, you know, oh, this is a profound message, because he's already said everything he wants to say about death with the death of William.
Yeah.
And he's done, like, you know, people coming back from the end with, like, Al and his glee. Pretty much, like, they've had all that redemption and stuff. Pretty much everything is there. Do you think he should have held back with Season 2 for some stuff here? Or do you think that would... Do you think if Season 2 was weaker and he'd have held stuff back for 3, it would have been stronger?
Oh, well, probably. But then we would have been denied the greatest season of television of all time.
That's true.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm all okay for him to, like... Because in the second half it works.
Yeah.
Like, the second half it is more... It's almost like Arrested Development Season 3.
It's nowhere near as bad.
It's nowhere near as bad, but structurally it is very similar. You've got one overarching plot, which I never really cared for.
Yeah.
And then the second half gets closer to what makes the first few seasons great, but still doesn't quite hit the heights.
No.
Which is kind of what Season 3 of Arrested Development's like.
But Season 3 of Arrested Development is objectively bad.
It is bad, yeah.
Deadwood, I mean, you know, with all these problems, it's still great television.
Yeah, I was going to say, Deadwood Season 3 is still excellent.
Yeah.
It's still great. You know, like, by any comparison, it's great. I'm only comparing it to... Deadwood, yeah. I'm just comparing it to the greatest season of television of all time.
Yeah.
Which is Season 2. You know, coming off Season 2, let's face it, I don't know how they were going to top it.
I don't think they possibly could.
It would be a fucking miracle if they did. And it would have been, like, the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Right? I'm not surprised.
No.
I went to Season 3 probably knowing it wasn't going to be as good as Season 2. I'd accepted that.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'll just watch it and see what I enjoy, see what I don't enjoy. And yeah, I've got problems with the characters and I've got problems with the dramatic arcs, but, you know, in terms of set design and the acting and episode by episode and the themes that David Milchs is dealing with, it's above and away anything else on television.
Yeah.
Easily. So it's still worth a watch.
I reckon if this was a debut season of Summer, people would call it like amazing and 10 out of 10. It's only because it's tied to those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only in the context of Deadwood's first 2 seasons, which are amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, everything just become... I think also it's written into a corner in a way.
Yeah.
Season 2 ends, Hearst's in town, where there's no way to go from there without dealing with that. Because the other option is, Hearst isn't there at the beginning, and the characters just talk about him, which would have been much worse than this season, wouldn't it? If everyone was just like, do you remember that time when Hearst ruined the town?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. There's no way around it, unfortunately.
No. I also think that this season, if they'd have known they were going to be cancelled, would have been better, because this is what I reckon you could do to sort of, not save the season, because I still think it's really good. Season 3... what we have, just truncate that into half a season.
Yeah.
And then the second half is them dealing with the...
aftermath.
Yeah, because you said, you want to see what happens next. After Hearst has run roughshod over the town.
Yeah.
And then you end it with Al burning the camp down.
Yeah.
By accident. So basically he would have become drunk, the gem would have set on fire, and that would have spread throughout the town, and they'd have had to build it all up again. And
because of that, you'd have had a packed, thematically dense season, a la Season 2.
Yeah.
But that's if they didn't know it was going to be cancelled. This is the problem, but obviously they didn't know it was going to be cancelled.
Yeah.
It's no one's fault. Like, you know, they needed something to fill Season 3. You know, we'll do an overarching story with Hearst.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works. So it's not really working. Okay, well, we'll do last 6 episodes, we'll just make them back to the start of Season 2. You know, if they didn't know.
Yeah.
They didn't know it was going to end. So I really can't blame the writers of a writer.
No. It's easy enough to say now, if they should have ended it better, but
exactly,
there's no way to know,
There was no way they could have known. All you could look is just what's kind of left.
Yeah.
And what's left is a confusing season, which I find frustrating, but not in a good kind of frustrating.
No.
But overall, it's still great.
Yeah.
There's still amazing episodes. There's still great character scenes. I feel kind of bad because I feel like I've said all I wanted to say, really.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've said it all in the episode reviews. Season 2 was like a rapturous review. This one I'd have a lot to say because I've said it all.
Wait, I think that's also because the season just isn't as deep as season 2. Like at the end of season 2, you were like in that review, which was 70 minutes. You were at the end like, oh, and there's still so much I have to say.
Yeah.
Like there was still so much to you could have spent 70 minutes just talking about how amazing William Sanderson's E.B is.
Yeah, quite easily. Yeah. His character arc throughout that season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead easy.
Because what they've done with season 2 is they've just found the perfect balance of adding things without overstuffing it.
Yeah.
But the problem with season 3 is they're adding... Because I think that if they hadn't have added anything, people would have said, oh, where's the new stuff?
Yes, yeah.
Basically, David Milchs is screwed either way, really. This is a perfect sort of bridge season.
Yeah.
Which makes it so frustrating there isn't a season 4. Because imagine, he's gotten all this out. Basically, at the end of season 3, go anywhere. There's no Hearst. He can basically tell whatever stories he wants in that sort of short story novella format.
Yeah.
And it's also a weird season because it feels both more tight and tightly plotted, and it also feels more improvised.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got like scenes that just feel like they've been made up, scenes that literally were made up right before shooting, and then but you've also got it against this wide overarching storyline. So it's a really strange season, but it's also much more akin to the sort of stuff David Milchs normally does.
Oh yeah.
A lot of his shows are improvised, and like Deadwood is probably the most acclaimed thing he's ever done. But everything else he's done was accused of having really strong starts and getting like frustrating endings when like storylines didn't go anywhere, just stuff like that. But yeah, it just doesn't have the sort of, it's not as epic as season 1, which felt like a grand masterpiece, and it's not as perfect as season 2. It's just season 3.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm gonna give season 3 an 8 out of 10.
I like it more. I actually like the Hearst character, and I really like Gerald McRinley's performance.
It's a fine performance.
Yeah.
It's just he never dramatically worked for me.
Yeah.
Which is the important thing for me ultimately.
I think he did, but I do think there isn't enough in this that's great to give it a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a 9 out of 10, and it is just a real shame Deadwood ended on a bit of a low. Not a low,
yeah. Well, it is a low, but
it's a low by comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you think you'll revisit this season?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back and see if it improves. I imagine it does improve in a second watching because now I know what's coming and I know how things pan out.
Yeah.
It probably will, but I'm not in a mad rush.
No. It's sort of you wouldn't ever would you watch season 2 by itself?
Probably.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't really watch TV like that. I like
just
watching it just all from the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's 9 out of 10. It's a very strong season of television, and by any metric, it's worth. Like, I definitely wouldn't recommend if someone says like, "I finished season 2. Is it worth continuing after all this, negative stuff?" Definitely.
I would still say it's still because there's still loads of great scenes.
Yeah, anyone who's cared about these characters will find a lot to enjoy. It's just a low point.
Yeah.
That's all there is to say. There isn't this. This is by far the shortest season review, I think. Season 1 was about 40 minutes. But yeah, it's got some of the best episodes, but yeah, just not as good.